Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to another third channel bike and talk video from somewhere near some railway arches in Lewisham. That's all I really know about where I am. That and the fact that we're going to go on a nice bike ride today, and I'm going to talk to myself despite clearly being in public and surrounded by so many houses and people that are going to hear and see me. Something which I can tell from the comments on these videos is horrifying to some people. Like every video I make in this format where I'm either walking or biking around, someone's like, so for real, you just talk to yourself in public and, you know, people look at you and you just don't care, question mark? Or, you know, sometimes it's the more subtle, like, oh, I could never do what you're doing. I wish I could do that, but I just can't embarrass myself so strongly in public, like the brave idiot that you are, Mr. Toycat. But I actually wanted to talk about this while doing, funnily enough, the exact opposite. I think this is a very dead area, pretty industrial looking. Again, I'm just looking forward for opportunities to ride my new Ghost cycle I'll be talking about in some future videos, but because I gave in, I stopped renting one or stopped renting an electric bike. I just decided I'd purchase one for myself. But yeah, let's go on a little bit of a bike ride, and essentially because I do have this instinct in me that when someone is nearby, you've totally got to not talk about you know, murdering all the children or whatever else it is. Oh, funny enough, child appears as I say that, but you know, there are like I definitely have it inside me. And I think I have it inside me stronger than most people. I think this idea of social conformity is one that exists in people to different extents, but everyone has it. And I think by default, I definitely have it incredibly strong. Even stuff like asking for substitutions on a burger at a chain restaurant like a McDonald's or a Burger King, that horrifies me. Like, why are you going through so much effort not to fit in? Just have the, you know, even if you're allergic to pickles, just have the allergic pickles, or get a burger that doesn't come with pickles. Don't be like, yeah, I deserve to have a burger that comes with pickles but without. No, I mean, I feel like it's less awkward via delivery service and whatnot, funnily enough, as a delivery rider goes past. But I definitely have strong beliefs that, like, conformity is important in lots of ways. And oh, this is a fun little thing. It's a little skate park under this arch. I do have this strong belief that conformity is an important thing, and so it's so hard for me to, like, actively break that in certain ways. Like, it is genuinely very hard for me to talk, like, you can see earlier videos on the second channel where I was just vlogging when I was traveling around Europe. You can see how hard I find it to talk in public and how I have to find, like, the most, you know, hidden places where no one will see me talking to a camera, because, wait, I'll put up my phone so that's more accurate. So no one sees me talking to my camera, because it horrifies me, the idea of, you know, doing so in such a public place. Oh, there's a football stadium here. Millwall. I guess we're in the Millwall now. Let's get up this hill nice and fast, shall we? I'm actively horrified by these things, and so you might say, wait, you're horrified by these things, but you keep doing them? You know, you have the opportunity to avoid being near someone as they hear you in public, and you're actively not choosing to do so. I'm starting to call BS there, Mr. Toycat. And the way I would describe what happened is making all those videos, and I guess in the era where I was making those awkward videos, making them definitely gave me this sense that, like, yeah, you need to avoid those awkward feelings and that pain. But the lesson there is interesting YouTube videos are made from this weird feeling of, oh, I can't do what this guy's doing. And this is honestly a big part of all YouTube and all YouTube channels. Again, this third channel is literally nothing. It's me talking to a camera, no one cares. But like, if you look at, people like the idea that you're, like, good at games, or you're, you know, like, knowledgeable about your subject, or even just funny in a way that they can't be. Like, this is what makes media entertaining to us. Even musicians, it's like, yeah, he's so musically talented. Is that just horse? Oh god, that is just horse manure in the middle of the bike lane. Well, that's horrifying. But I hope I wasn't getting on my bike right there. So yeah, it's interesting because people, and one of those things that again, you'll notice on any, like, street prank or anything like that, one of the things that people like is this kind of, like, awkward in public thing. There are some great videos of in fact, I'll just name some. I was gonna be like, I won't name them, but again, I don't really care. So like, I remember there's this video of a very big YouTuber, you're just going around to a gaming convention being awkward to people in public, basically. And again, like, it makes you cringe, but also you're fascinated by it. There's, like, a whole genre of prank channels before prank channels became, like, you know, I'm gonna commit social atrocities channels. But, like, there's a whole genre where it's just like, yeah, this is awkward to do in public. And so yet I'm doing it anyway. How quirky and wacky. And people, again, that is interesting to me. And so it's a skill that I wished I had, and it's like a muscle you've got to train, right? I think with every single skill that humans have or can have, there's like also, let's not even say skill, let's say attribute, right? With every single attribute that humans have or can have, there's kind of two elements to it. There's one element which is like, how good are you naturally? You know, like how being you're strong is some amount about genetics. You know, one of the genders tends to have better muscle, or stronger muscle mass than the other as an aggregate, you know, as a default starting number. And then the other half is all about, you know, like work and whatever else you want to put in there. We could simplify it down to like what, like talent and hard work maybe, or like natural ability. You know, like the other would be like, you know, like nature and nurture, right? Like your default ability doing nothing, and then what you can train yourself into doing. And every skill has those two things combined. And I think the cool thing about realizing that is that almost everything out there has very strong amounts of that second thing built in there. I will never be the best speaker in the world, sadly. I will never be the world's best, I don't know, informer, you know, entertainer, whatever word we want to use. I'm never going to be the best at that, because you know what's crazy is I don't have a natural instinct for it. When I was in school, I hated doing, like, whenever there was like a presentation or something like that, I would try as hard as I could to help make sure that anyone else in the group would be the one doing it. Because, and then if it was one where like, oh yeah, everyone's got to do a little bit of performing, I would spend all week, every single waking moment in that week, I would spend being like, oh no, it's gonna happen. It would be, I describe most of teenage life, and honestly, a lot of adult life too, as just shying away from the big scary moments. My life is, you know, life is defined in so many parts as being scared of the next big thing, whether it's, oh, look at that squirrel, that is so adorable, holy Jesus, do you see that? What is he even eating? That is like the most picturesque squirrel in the world. Are you seeing this? This is like a Disney, okay, you know, there we go. I got a picture. He doesn't even care about me either. What the heck? Anyway, so that's so cute. You know, come to South Walk if you would like that. That's definitely how you say the borough name. It's definitely South Walk. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I used to be horrified of this, and so much of life actually I would define the same way. Of like, oh no, big thing is coming up. I want everything but to do the big thing. And so it's weird that I'm over here in the opposite camp. I feel like if you naturally did like doing that, and then obviously if you naturally like doing it, then you'd get all the training of doing it as well as being naturally good. And so of course you'll never be on the same level as someone like that. If your goal is to be the very best at something in the world, you need to either be pretty good by default, or you need to like put like absurd amounts of extra work in to make that work. But my point here, how do I talk around people when I find it so horrifying to not only like present ideas to the public here, but also, actually, is this to the public? What's more to the public internet? Is it when I'm talking to you right now with this camera on my chest, which I hope is recording? You know, if you didn't see that squirrel, my life is over. Okay, I think you can see it, although the lens is a little watery. Sorry about that, it is raining. Wait, it's sunny too. That means there should be a rainbow. Let's go find a rainbow. What is more public internet? Me talking on this random street right here? Or is it me talking to you right now? I mean, is public defined, you know, which way do you define public, I guess is what I'm saying. Because there are lots of ways to do it. And yeah, look at this. There's a little tree with some traffic cones on it. This is a fun little area, huh? Anyway, so the larger point that I wanted to talk about is that I think that like, so like, how did I specifically learn? Because I'm talking about like, you can learn anything. You just got to try hard enough and learn. So how did I learn to be so comfortable speaking around strangers and not, you know, there's someone on a bike, they're going to come past. Me not being like, okay, I'll just be silent for a bit and then they'll come past and then it'll be fine. And honestly, for the longest time, even up to like a couple of years ago on this channel, you'll notice that's what I do. And there's a lot of people, I get this social feeling of like, oh God, what am I doing right now? Why is this what's happening? Something along those lines. And it's interesting because that is still my very much my instinct. That is still very much, okay, we're leaving the quiet way and now we're entering the cycle way. Ooh, that's exciting. No more quietness. Suddenly we're going to be in a big group of people. That is not the way, this side of the road we drive on in this country, as best I'm aware. Yeah, it's interesting because it's really interesting to me that like it's hard by default, and even until recently that's been the case. But then you realize, like with everything else in life, you know, being terrified of not conforming or whatever else it is. I guess I'm taking a right turn here, huh? Guess I'm taking a right turn here. Oh god, that car. Okay, no, I think I wanted to go left there actually. I don't know where I am, but I'm pretty sure it's not the right place. I learned from a YouTube comment recently though that U-turns are allowed by default. So, in fact, I can just take a left here. That'll be just as good. Oh, Christ. A stick messed me up in that turn, huh? Anyway, so when it comes to like training yourself to, be comfortable speaking around people, I think like with anything, you just got to question, why do you care by default what they think? You know, why do I care what the burger employee thinks about me not having pickles on my burger, even though I know that I wouldn't be the first person to ask. By the way, pickles are delicious. I want extra pickles or anything. Honestly, I would hate the idea of asking for extra pickles. Like, no, I'm not special. I don't deserve extra pickles just because I'm asking for it. I think what a horrifying system where that's how things go. Yeah, I think like, why do you care about people? Why would I care if there was someone here hearing my thoughts about baby murder and like why we should kill all the children as fast as we can so that way there's fewer humans left? You know, why would I care if someone cares what I say about those things? And the answer is you don't really. The person's gonna have a funny story where they're like, wait, did he say child murder? Ah, he must not have. There's no way he'd be saying child murder. Right, probably not. And like with just like with a lot of things, I guess is what I'm saying, is that you have to question why you care about other people's opinions, and you probably don't as much as you think you do. You know, you instinctively care, and that's great. We're all social creatures. I love that we all vaguely care what each other thinks so that we're not, you know, doing it in the street and, I don't know, shooting squirrels and whatever other terrible things you have in your subconscious brain that you do if you didn't care about other people's opinions. But, you know, I like that we're all vaguely caring about, ooh, there's a pub here. The Brewed Bitter. That sounds not very delicious at all. Anyway, you know, like, it's good that we care about each other's opinions on like the broad level as a default, but when you really start to question pretty much anything, why do you care about the strangers passing on the street? I mean, you might make their life more interesting with a bit of baby murder in there, you know? Like, the more you think about it, the more you realize that it is all inside your own head, the more you realize it is all something that only you care about. And even more, and if you don't come to that conclusion, which is where I land at, it's like, ultimately, why do you care about anyone's opinion about anything? I used to always have this opinion in like school. Honestly, you know, you can devolve this to so many levels. Like, why do we care about hygiene? Like, you don't smell yourself. After like, I think it's 10 seconds, you acclimatize to a smell. It might be 30 seconds, but it's a really small amount of time for you to acclimatize to a smell, whereas everyone around you is encountering it for the first time. And so it's much worse for them than it is for you. Do I just end up on the pavement here? I guess I do. It's much worse for them than it is for you, you know, like when you smell. And so why do you care when you smell, when it's other people's problem? And the answer is that, well, if everyone does that, we end up in some problems. Okay, so I guess I just go here, and then oh, it goes across there. Oh, I'm gonna continue doing that. You know, like, it took 3 people going past on bikes for me to realize that's the way you're meant to go. I don't know how I even got confused there. I was like, you know, it's definitely not forwards. It's definitely a left turn here. And, you know, it's fun. There's been a lot of broken glass on this journey so far. I mean, I guess London or something. See, if you don't care about other people's opinions, then why not break a glass bottle on the ground? Sure, someone's dog might step on it 5 days later, but like, what do you care? You're not going to see the dog. You know, dogs step on broken glass, and it's like, well, that's bad logic too. We all get a worse society. So you've got to care about what each other think on some level, Like, you got to care about your hygiene, and you got to care about all these other things on like pretty implicit, deep driven in their things. Like the fact that we've even worked out a way that makes everyone care about these things by default is an incredible human societal connection, in my opinion. But by the way, I've realized this is Q1. This is the first quiet way in London. I wonder where it goes. It has been a pretty nice ride, honestly. Glad we found it. Glad we found it. But yeah, I think that I think that generally you don't need to care about people on the street's thoughts, and especially when you to go back to that public question, what is the real public? Is it you here on my chest, or is it the strangers I bypass while talking about how we should kill all the children? And the answer is, it's actually you, right? There is many more of you than of them. I guess with a small YouTube channel, you could have the dilemma of like, actually, it is the, you know, the person and their dog, or like, you know, whatever it is, that like, they're the more public person, because if you get 0 views on a YouTube video, but you confuse one person by talking about child murder, then maybe then actually it is worse off. So maybe that's, but like generally speaking, everyone gets at least a few views when you show it with your friends, etc. And so shouldn't you care about their views, their opinions, more so, right? You know, shouldn't you be thinking about, if I stop and awkwardly don't talk about the important thing that I want to talk about here, wouldn't that be worse for, wouldn't that be much worse even for you, compared to the tiny benefit to them where they won't even notice anything at all? And ultimately, yeah, I think caring about other people's opinions is a slippery slope that we all need to be on somewhere, but that really only leads you to bad places. Again, and with the exception of like, why do you care about other people's opinions at all? Because you don't want to be known as the renegade rogue who poops on the street and talks about child murder and breaks glass bottles and whatever else it is. But like, why do you care about your reputation then? And it's like, well, your friends wouldn't like being friends with someone who's like that. And when a romantic partner hears that you're the, you know, you're the, let's find the name of the street. You're the Tabard Street smuggler. You're the one that's been smuggling all those, okay, we go left here apparently. You're the one that's been, you know, like wrecking all those lives or whatever else. Oh wait, I have to turn left here? Does that apply to bicycles? Oh, it doesn't. Everything but bikes. Heck yeah. See, this is nice. This is a good ride. This is. I could do this all day, and I don't mean that literally. I'd love to try sometime though. But yeah, I think in general, why do you care about other people's opinions? Probably shouldn't. Why do you anyway? Because there are some very, very few situations, you know, like friends, partners, and you know, like, what's the word? Professional relationships, like your boss you care about. Do you care about people who aren't those things? Probably not. If you're in a very small town, the odds of you encountering one of those things, again, when you live in a town of 50 people and you got 3 friends, a boss, and, you know, like a pool of like 5 romantic partners, yeah, that means what, like 8 out of 50 of those people are going to be those. But when you're in a city of 1 million, reputations don't develop the same way. You know, that's why you need police and other systems to kind of, you know, counteract that. You know, the reputation system is a book inside the police department somewhere. Reputation systems don't work the same way, and even if it did, it'd be 8 out of 8 million. What are the odds that someone's going to see you talking about child murder or peeing on the street or whatever else it is? And ultimately, yeah, that's why I think to like some large extent, people get a lot more, you know, like you need systems to exist in cities, and those systems lead to some weird and interesting things. I don't know where I ended up, but like that was a really fancy area, and then we're going straight back into not so fancy looking, and that's London for you. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, like, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see you all in another video that's not talking about me talking to myself in public, because this is such a bad example, because again, I guess it's what time is it? It's like 11 AM or something. I guess this just isn't the time where people are walking down the streets. Anyway, thank you for watching the channel. Don't care. Goodbye.